Mini Test 11. You'll hear two friends discussing where they should go see a movie. First, you have some time to look at questions 1 to 5. Now listen to the conversation and answer questions 1 to 5.
So, do you still want to see a movie tonight?
Yeah, I think that would be really fun.
Okay, I don't want to go to the movie theatre we went to last time. It was really dirty and the screen was too small.
You want to go to the new one they built near the park?
How much is it for a ticket?
You know what? I just remember that I saw their website. It's a luxury movie theatre. They have leather armchairs to sit in, and they also serve wine and restaurant-quality food.
I see, so that would cost about...
I think it would be $25 including a meal and a drink.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, that is pretty expensive. What else were you thinking?
Well, there is another theatre at the mall. They have undergone renovations, so the movie screens are really good. I like the big ones. They make the film seem more alive.
How much is a ticket there?
The tickets are only $10. If we want something to eat, there is a food court where we can get meals for about only $5.
That sounds good. Let's go then. If I remember correctly, it is easy to get there. We just have to go to the bus station right next to the theatre.
Yeah, I feel like having a drink beforehand. There's a good coffee shop next to the theatre too.
Exercise 4.01.
Ouch! My head still hurts from last night.
Well, Christian, that'll teach you to stay out drinking until 4 in the morning.
Yeah, but Brenda, it was a great night. It was Jimmy's 30th birthday. I had to be there.
Fair enough. Still, you were at work on time. That's pretty impressive.
Thank goodness for bacon sandwiches, and thank goodness for coffee. I must have had 12 cups of coffee today.
Well, as long as you're on good form tonight.
Tonight? What's on tonight?
Don't tell me you've forgotten the staff Christmas party. You're the DJ. There'll be no music without you.
Don't worry, Brenda. I've got all my CDs here with me. I won't let you down. How are we going to get there?
If you like, I can give you a lift there. I'll need your help with the navigation anyway.
It's at the Holton Hotel, isn't it? It's actually quite easy to get to. You go over Brighton Bridge, over that big roundabout, and then turn left at the petrol station with a big blue sign.
Is that the one opposite the Design Museum?
That's it. Then just go straight on for 3 miles and you'll get to Green Park. The hotel's just next to it. Easy.
OK, so if it starts at 7:30, what time should we leave the office?
Well, it's Christmas. Let's finish at 4:30 and have a couple of pints at the pub. The Red Lion is a perfect place for a nice beer.
You just don't stop, do you? Still, that's a nice idea. I like the Red Lion. I can't drink, of course, but I think it's a good idea. As the boss, I suppose I should buy a few rounds for Christmas. OK, listen up, everyone. We're finishing today at 4:30, and before we head off to the Holton, we're all going to the pub over the road. That's an order. I'm buying, so you should definitely be there.
Exercise 4.02.
Good evening, everyone. Thanks very much to Monica for that introduction. As she said, my name's Carl Ragg, and as you can probably tell from the uniform, I'm a policeman. I was invited to give this talk after a conversation with the student union I had at a meeting of the Crime Victims Association, for which I work on a part-time basis as an advisor. I feel it's vital for the police force to show an active interest in the feelings and experiences of victims of crime. It helps us to help people who are in the unfortunate situation of having a crime committed against them, and it keeps us focused on the importance of preventing crime from occurring in the first place. And that's why I'm glad the Students' Union has asked me to come to the campus tonight. By putting on events like this, they show they take these issues seriously. If you only read the newspapers and watch the TV, you'd think that the most common crime committed against students is rape. Thankfully, this is not true, and it's rare on this campus, although of course just one case is too many. The most common crimes committed are physical attacks, generally in pubs and clubs, but by far the most often reported crimes involve burglary of student accommodation or stolen mobile phones and laptops on campus. This is extremely unpleasant, but at least it very rarely involves any personal injury to the victim. I mentioned the media's coverage of crime. You've probably read that for certain offences, crime rates have risen dramatically over the past few years in society as a whole, and nobody would expect journalists to be focusing on any improvements. good news doesn't tend to make the headlines. Any university is part of society, and there's no doubt that crime is a fact of life. Still, crime has actually fallen on campus over the last 5 years, and I think that's largely thanks to the university authorities and the Students' Union increasing crime education activities, such as this, and by putting in better lighting and changing the design of some of the more isolated parts of the campus. Surveys show, however, that students worry more than ever about crime. This is completely understandable, given the media hype that there is about crime. As I mentioned before, although crime rates are down, as soon as a serious crime occurs, it is all over the front pages and the lead story on the news. There's no way they would report good news about an increase in the number of police officers patrolling campus, or that 99.9% of students never fall victim to a serious violent crime. That's not news that sells. I'm most certainly not saying that nobody should worry and that you should walk around at all hours of the night in dark passageways with nothing to fear. What we do advise people is that a good dose of common sense is the best deterrent. That means you take responsibility for your own safety, which is a message I'm glad to see the Student Union putting across. It's true that you can take self-defense courses, but that doesn't mean you'll be able to fend off any attacker or throw someone over your shoulder if they're a bit drunk and irritating you in a bar. The main weapon a good self-defense course equips you with is not physical techniques or how to use a knife, or telling you to walk confidently, although I think that helps you make sure that you are thinking about your safety. A good self-defense course should actually be the beginning of an instinctive awareness of possible threats to your safety. So as students on campus, what practical measures can you take to maximize your personal security? Well, you could just sit at home with 10 other friends, with all the doors and windows closed, ready to call the police whenever you hear an unfamiliar sound. But life wouldn't be that much fun for you. Let's take a specific everyday situation. You've got some coursework to finish, and you stay late at the library, which means you have to go home in the dark, unless you want to sleep in the toilets or between the bookshelves, which is not really an option. I'm assuming you will have a mobile phone with you, which is an excellent security measure, because of course you can call someone at any time. We think the best way to stay safe in this situation, though, is to ask one of your flatmates to stay in the library with you until you finish work, and then to make the journey home together. It's more sociable, and there's safety in numbers. If you are unlucky enough to be faced with a crime, such as being mugged, it's a nasty situation. You have to make a quick decision, and your first instinct may be to resist forcefully. But we advise against this. You don't know what the criminal is like. You could run away, but often people won't help you if you're running away from somebody. It's a confusing situation, and nobody really knows what to do. If possible, therefore, we recommend asking for help from passers-by. This may involve screaming for help, grabbing someone, and asking them to call the police. But whatever you do, try to seek help if it seems possible. These are just general guidelines based on our experience. It's hard to give specific advice for every situation that might crop up. However, we do tell people not to carry a knife. You might think you can scare off an attacker, but in an attack, it's the thing that makes it most likely that you end up injured. And it's illegal to carry one, of course. I always feel a little uneasy about giving these talks, because there's a fine line between trying to make people aware of the dangers of living, working and socializing on campus, which can't be protected like an army base, and, like any place in society, can never be 100% safe. Your university careers should be the best years of your lives, but don't forget, there's no wall around the place keeping out anyone wanting to commit crime. Still, in general, the good news is that the crime you'll most likely come across is somebody copying your essay, which is illegal but not physically dangerous. So that's the end of my talk. Thanks for listening. And don't forget, the police take crime very seriously, so please don't be afraid to contact us with any questions or concerns. The Student Police Liaison Officer is WPC Linda Smith, and she's based in the office next to the Student Union shop. Thanks again, and have an enjoyable and safe evening.
Exercise 4.03.
Hi there, everyone. I hope Ron covered everything at the meeting before lunch. Any questions? Just in case you're not sure, I'll give you the details about the trip today and about what you'll be doing tomorrow. Depending on traffic, this journey should take about 7 hours, so we reckon we'll be in Newcastle at 8 o'clock this evening. There'll be dinner as soon as we get there. The camp manager normally makes us an excellent spaghetti bolognese, and there's always plenty of red wine, so you should sleep pretty well. There are 2 people to a tent, and please make sure you get the right one. The camp manager's got a list of which tent you'll be in, so don't worry. They're clearly marked. Tomorrow we have to be up and out at 7:30 for breakfast. We start work at 9 a.m. We will need at least a few hours to get things ready. The festival opens at 1 in the afternoon, and you'll get a chance to go and see some of the bands playing. Please let your supervisor know when you want your 2 hours off. Anyway, I hope we have a good trip, and I'm sure the festival's going to be fantastic. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask.
Exercise 4.04.
What time does a match start on Sunday? Well, most people turn up at about 1:45, but things kick off for real at 2. The referee likes to start the match on time. Cool. Will I get a game? How many other people are going to turn up? Oh, don't worry. We're lucky if we can get a full team out, especially during the winter. I think 12 people should come along on Sunday, and that's out of a total membership of 49. Don't feel guilty about taking someone's place. We're glad you're playing. That's a relief. I didn't want to take someone's place away from them. It'll be good to get some exercise. Oh yeah, you'll be doing a lot of running. We're playing an army team. The soldiers normally give us a pretty good game. Does it get a bit rough? Not really. The referee, Brian, is semi-professional. He keeps things under control. Cool. See you on Sunday then. Yeah, see ya.
Exercise 4.05.
Did you hear about Sam?
Sam? I thought he'd gone to America. He only went there last week. I remember his leaving party.
Oh yeah, that was a good one. Anyway, he's back now.
What? He only left the country a few days ago and now he's back? I thought he said he had a job lined up there.
That's what he thought too. His cousin's got a company there, so it looked pretty good.
Yeah? Wasn't he going to work in the office?
That's what he thought. He was going to be office manager. The company's pretty big.
So how come he's back here? I thought he had all the documents and everything. It took him ages to get them.
Well, he did at least arrive in America. He flew to Chicago and thought everything would be absolutely fine. He was going through customs, and he'd had his fingerprints scanned. And then the immigration officials called him over for a special interview.
Oh no, so he didn't have the documents?
Well, that's the weird thing. He did. He showed them his visa and his letter of invitation, but it didn't make any difference. There was a problem with his fingerprint.
You must be joking. He had a visa and a letter of invitation, but his fingerprint was wrong.
They questioned him for 3 hours, which must have been pretty terrifying. Sam said they were really intense. I think he was terrified.
So what was the problem?
That's the thing. They said he had the same fingerprint as a suspected terrorist that they're looking for. He kept on telling them he didn't look anything like him, but they didn't want to know.
So Sam's a wanted criminal? That's a good one. Unbelievable. Did they hurt him?
Oh no, nothing like that. He says they were actually really polite about it.
So they were really polite, but they threw him out of the country?
Yeah, but not after they bought him a cup of coffee. Amazing. The immigration guys told him he had to return home on the next flight. They said they had to follow rules and regulations, and they had to do it.
That's amazing. So they gave him a coffee and put him back on the plane?
That's the long and short of it, yeah. Not much of a trip. His cousin's not too pleased, not having his new office manager, and Sam just can't believe it.
What's he going to do now? Didn't he quit his job before he went to America?
Sadly, that's true. Sam's going to ask them for his old job back, but he's not sure if they haven't found someone else already. Still, there is some good news.
What's that?
Well, we're having a welcome back party, Saturday at the pub.